Many thanks for choosing us. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. The Fix the Country movement is organizing a press conference Wednesday to speak about what they term police violence and the rising extrajudicial killings. According to the group, they are doing this in partnership with the families of victims of extrajudicial killings in Ghana to draw attention to the impact of it and why authorities need to act. In the meantime, the Ghana Police Service has released a statement in connection with an intended armed demonstration by the Fix the Country movement. According to the Ghana Police Service, it is unable to grant the organizers permission to hold such a demonstration because of its potential to breach public peace. Let's see extracts of that statement. The Accra Regional Police Command on Sunday, May, received the notice of intention to embark on a demonstration from a group of persons, including Okatechi Frifa, Captain Godsbrain, Smart Benjamin Daku, and Oliver Bakavomo. The statement continues to say that, among other things, the notice indicated the following: that the demonstrators intend to embark on a 3-day demonstration starting on 4th of June 2020. B, that the demonstrators intend to contract a private security company to provide protection for the demonstrators. And C, the statement says demonstrators and the contracted private security personnel will be armed with weapons, that the armed demonstrators will picket the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and the Ghana Police Headquarters. And the E, that the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, they will demand to speak directly to the nation on GTV and lay out their grievances. We would like to assure the public that the police service is ready and willing to provide the necessary protection for any lawful demonstration in the country. However, in this case, the service is of the view that the nature and character of the demonstration as intended is inconsistent with the Public Order Act. We are therefore unable to provide security for a demonstration which is in a flagrant violation of the Public Order Act and has the potential to result in a breach of public order and public safety. The service has reached out to the organizers to reconsider their proposal and work with the police towards the organization of a lawful, peaceful, and successful demonstration. We wish to assure the public that in the interest of public safety and security, the police are putting in place all necessary measures to ensure that unauthorized persons do not march the street with weapons. So that's the response coming from the police, and we'll be monitoring the press conference by the Fix the Country campaigners and bring you excerpts of that press conference. To other issues, former Director General of SIGA, Stephen Asamoah, launches campaign for the chairmanship of the governing NPP today. The race for the chairmanship of the governing NPP is heating up as more people join the race to replace outgoing chairman Freddie Blee. A former Director General of the State Interest and Governance Authority, Stephen Asamoah, is launching his bid ahead of the July National Delegates Congress of the party to elect national officers. My colleague Elton Brobe is at the campaign launch and joins us with more. Elton, is the event underway yet?
No, Aisha, the event hasn't started yet. I think they are now putting together the place for the official launch to start. So Asamoah just came in some few minutes ago. The venue is beginning to light up. And then I'm told that it's just going to be a 30-minute presentation about his qualities, his credentials, what he's bringing on board. And then there will be open floor for media personnel who are here to ask questions. And then after, it will signal the start of the campaign to win the national chairmanship of the governing MPP. They see themselves as in a pole position to win it, even though they are also they are of the view that their main contender in this case is 17, who will be making a bid for the chairmanship position for the 5th time. You know, he's been announced already for 4 times, and he lost all of it. And he is again competing for the national chair of the MPP. They are of the view that sympathy vote is on his side. But Stephen Asamoah in this country has many experience in government, in governance, and in the affairs of the MPP to see him through. In fact, Flyers, they have printed here at the venue points to his deep-rooted connection with the grassroots of the party, something that he's counting on to win him the slot. And this will be the first time he'll be seeking any national executive position in the MPP. But despite this disadvantage that he's coming from, his handlers are of the view that he'll be given the nod.
Elton Brobe is our correspondent there. How many people have so far expressed interest in the job?
So yesterday, officially, 17 launched his campaign phase. And we are also aware that former Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister joined the Kofo administration, Akwesi Oseje, is also interested in the slot. And then we have Asamoah and the former Education Minister, Professor Abiel Kumfi, is also very much interested. Now, the party has given the aspirants 1 month for campaigning. After this campaign launch, by the party's own timetable, there will be vetting, and then all those who will be in good standing will now be cleared to go ahead and then contest the chairmanship. So we have 4 that have expressed their, aspiration to contest the chairmanship of the party, and that's Asamoah, Stephen Kim, Professor Abiel Kumfi, and of course, a former Deputy Foreign Minister in the Kofo era.
Elton Brobe is our correspondent and he's monitoring that event for us. We'll definitely bring you more on that one. Let's stick with the NPP because a new research has shown that the many of the people in the Ashanti region are not are in doubt of the 8 agenda of the NPP to win power in 2024. There's a report that has been put together by Prince Appiah. We'll be bringing you that shortly. But we're moving on also to the Upper West region. Police in that region have started investigation to apprehend the suspects in a viral video at the forecourt of the Wanas Palace that was seen flogging 2 lovebirds accused of having sex in a leaked video. The Irish youth say the act is against the customs of the Wala traditional area, and for that matter, the Islamic religion, which is popular among the indigents. The Upper West Police Command invited some leaders from the Wanas Palace and also for them to fish out the suspects. We can speak with our correspondent, Rafiq Salam, now on this one. Rafiq, have these... right, so before we speak with Rafiq, this is the video of the Irish youth flocking these lovebirds for the leaked video that has gone viral.
7, 8, 9. 9. Yelianu. Yabajanu. 9. Kila kifi baba pa. Mamma jiyang af. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Yelianu. Yabajanu. 9. Kila kifi baba pa. Mamma jiyang af.
We're going to speak with Rafiq Salam now. He's our correspondent in the Upper West region. Rafiq, have these people who perpetrated this act been fished out? What has police preliminary investigation uncovered?
For now, Aisha, nobody has been arrested yet. As we speak to you now, I spoke to the Regional Crimes Officer of the Ghana Police Service, ACP Reynolds Mantiao, and he told me that he was supposed to meet some leaders of the Warner's Palace this morning, but he's just been given a call that the Warner, the overlord of the Wala Kingdom, wants to meet his subjects, his elders first, and after that, those people they think who are culpable will be given to the police to commence investigations on the issue.
Let's understand this issue of sex tapes and its leakage in the region. How rife is it?
Somewhere around 2021, I can tell you that within a week, we could have as many as 4 or 5 sex videos are being leaked. So it was really a worry to the traditional authorities in the Wala traditional area. And so the overlord of the Wala traditional area, formed a committee to look into that. They have even had this issue of malams and also, as well as religious leaders that came into the scene, and they were even urged to use their Friday sermons or Sunday sermons at the various churches and mosques to at least tell the people the dangers are involved in that particular act. And so this youth group also came into the fore. They were also used somehow to also try to ward off the traditional area from this issue of gays and then lesbians in the community. And so, to a very large extent, I will tell you that they've been able to successfully chase them out of the municipality. But this new thing that they are coming in, talking about the sex tapes, they were supposed to even bring the people to the fore of the one, and then the one will have pronounced, punishment for them. But they try to at least make the punishment they deem necessary for these people.
What has the WANA been saying about this conduct and the subsequent flogging of these lovebirds?
You know, when the incident happened, the WANA was not around when the incident happened, and also it happened at the blind side of some senior members of the traditional area. It was around the evening, somewhere around 5 p.m. When the WANA got back to the palace, and he was briefed by his spokesperson about what transpired. He was shocked to the marrow about what transpired. And when I got there yesterday, he told me that he was only learning about it at that particular time. And so the one is shocked, and he has condemned that dastardly act.
Do we know where these two lovebirds are? Are they safe? I mean,
for now, we don't know where they are, but these are people from different communities, but which are located in one, I'm told, hails from Sakwiri, and the other one also hails from Tagariri. But you know, if you know the water traditional system, we operate a system. We operate a certain system here called the tripod system, where you have the Tagariri, that's the Yirinamini, the imams, the Limaire people, and also the royals. And so these tripod system, these legs depends on the other to survive. So bringing these people to the fore, these are people, one from one of the clans, you know, one of the pivots from the clans, and so they are trying to deal with it in their own way. But also, we are yet to spot these particular personalities who were really humiliated yesterday. But for now, the town is calm. A lot of people are condemning that particular act in town.
Rafiq Salam is our correspondent in the Upper West region. We can now speak with the Upper West Regional Crime Officer, Chief Superintendent Reynolds Mantiao. I'm grateful for your time. He joins us via phone. Superintendent, what has your investigations gathered so far?
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning to your listeners. Police have so far laid surveillance on the perpetrators of that heinous act. We've placed some informants around who are nosing around. But for now, we haven't actually laid hands on any suspect yet. But we are also relying on the people from the palace. Some of them are giving there are indications of, assisting us getting those who actually were involved in that start act.
Are you providing any protection for these two victims?
The problem is, even as of now, to be honest with you, we are still looking for these two people. These are two victims, if I should use the victim for them for now, because they suffered for the unlawful act of the people there. But we haven't yet located them. And many of the people are tight-lipped as to where we can find them. But notwithstanding, police is doing making every effort to locate them and ensure their safety, and also for them to assist in the investigation that is ongoing.
Let me understand this. Are they also going to face the law for sharing nude videos?
Yes, I wouldn't be in a position to say that for now. I mean, when we gather all evidences and it comes out that they should also face the law, why not? They will also be made to face the law.
So what next for the police right now as far as your investigation is concerned?
Yes, what next is that we intend meeting the elders from the palace because we need to elicit some information from them. And based on what we will get from them, we will act on it and get those who are involved arrested. And then, will be subject to interrogation and investigation. And if they are found complicit in this act, we will prepare them for court to face the law.
Chief Superintendent Mantel, the Upper West Regional Crime Officer, speaking on that matter. We'll bring you details and updates as and when we get them. Now, the Domestic Violence Act of 2007 made a provision for a domestic violence fund to support victims. However, it has been difficult to operationalize the fund. Now, the Upper East region has become the first in Ghana to start a support fund for victims of abuse. This was after the Widows and Orphans movement, together with their partners, started an account with some seed money to raise funds for the purpose. Unlike the National Fund, which will cater for a number of issues, the Upper East Regional Support Fund for Victims of Abuse will only support the medical bills of the victims. Correspondent Albert Sori has more.
Under the Domestic Violence Act of 2007, a domestic violence fund was instituted with the aim of supporting victims. A sum of 50,000 Ghana cedis was deposited in the fund 12 years ago. But since then, efforts by civil society to get governments over the years to put more resources into the fund have proven futile. The Widows and Orphans movement, a non-governmental organization based in the Upper East region and working to support widows and other underprivileged women, has therefore decided to take an initiative to start a regional support fund for victims of abuse. Fati Abigail Abdullahi is Executive Director of the Widows and Orphans movement.
The Widows and Orphans movement, as a member of the Women's Rights Network in Ghana, together with other organizations, have been calling on government to fund the domestic violence fund. And so even as we continue to hold the state accountable to ensure that they are performing this mandate, the Upper East region, reflecting on the poverty rate here, which has translated in high cases of domestic violence, thought it wise that we start the fund here.
She said the fund will only cater for the medical bills of victims, and they will have to go through due processes to prove that they actually suffered abuse before they can be supported. An initial amount has been deposited in the fund, and individuals or organizations willing to support can donate to the fund.
So the fund is going to be managed by SHRAJ, Department of Gender and the Widows and Orphans Movement. These are the 3 signatories to the account. We have established the account to which people can donate at Fidelity Bank. We equally have a Voda cash number where people can donate to. And so we are not being too ambitious to operationalize the regional fund to do what the national fund is supposed to do, but we are focusing on just medical care for survivors of violence. And so we are equally making it simple for people to access it. We are using the existing protocols, which is the case files of social welfare and the Form 20 from the legislative instrument of the domestic violence LI to operationalize the fund. So survivors can either go to social welfare or domestic violence unit to report the cases. They will do the assessment, and if these people do need help, that is they are poor, they earn below the minimum wage, and they are survivors of violence, then the committee comes in to assess the funds for them.
Upper East Regional Director for the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Abdullah Jalaluddin, said the Regional Support Fund for Victims of Abuse will help the poor to get justice anytime they suffer abuse.
Coming to church, you don't have to pay anything. Our services are free. But when you go to Dosu and you have to go to the hospital, the medical report, you need to pay for it. And these people don't have money to pay for it. And that is where they have difficulty. Sometimes people go to the police station. Once they give them medical forms, and as they step out of the police station, instead of going to hospital, they are going home. And they don't even come back. So we don't want a situation where people are abused, they are traumatized, and yet they can't get justice. And how will they get justice if the medical forms is not endorsed? So we want to come in and facilitate for the medical forms to be endorsed. And if there are financial implications, we fall onto the fund and pay for it for them to get their medical report.
Upper East Regional Minister Stephen Yakubu commended the Widows and Orphans Movement and their partners for the initiative and promised government support to help the fund grow. The regional minister also made a personal donation of 1,000 Ghana cedis to the fund through the DCE for Bolgatanga East, David Asamoah, who represented him at the launch of the fund. For Joy News, Albert Sori, Bolgatanga.
From Bolga, let's go back to the Ashanti region, where a new research has revealed that 26% of delegates in the Ashanti region doubts the NPP's breaking the 8 agenda to retain power in the 2024 election. Respondents cite the government's failure to complete projects under the 1 million per constituency initiative as a major impediment. The grip of the party also in its political stronghold is also threatened by outcomes of recent party elections at the polling and constituency levels. From the polling station to the regional level elections, factions have evolved, with some aggrieved persons seeking redress in court. Nana Ojima has been focusing on efforts to deal with these cases as re-elected regional chair Bernard Entwubuesiako launches an agenda to break the 8.
The research by Dr Smart Zappone of Kumasi Technical University ahead of the NPP's delegates conference accurately predicted a 57.8% of ballots cast for the incumbent Bernard Entwubuesiako, missing that of the closest contender by 2 percentage points. Part of the research also revealed some party delegates fear that breaking the 8 agenda is unachievable.
Only 73% of Ashanti region delegates believes the NPP can break the 8. What it means is that about 26% of delegates, not for common floor members, so it's the delegates that are going to influence the common floor members. If the delegates, 26% of them do not believe the NPP can break the 8, then it is the first assignment for the elected regional executives. They are to bring their delegates to the level of believing that they can break the 8.
The Ashanti region has since 1992 voted in favor of NPP, contributing 71% of votes to the party's victory chalked in 2020. But some party members believe internal wranglings could affect the fortunes of the party in the next general elections. Many pending cases in court are challenging elections in constituencies, as the Alternative Dispute Resolution Committee of the party makes efforts to clear these cases. Bernard Entribo-Siakon, who has led the NPP in the region to 2 elections, promised party members to fight towards strengthening the grounds in the region.
Party papa say, "Oya campaign, nedru babia, on kasa infantia." Ewo musa nyasa and the peno, nemum, edru babia, a sene katra macro edru babia naka. So be a bonia for 2024 breaking the 8th sake. My name is regional executive say Yadiache will be
But deep cracks in the grassroots of the party may deny the party of its vision. 4 out of 47 constituencies were denied voting rights at the Regional Delegates Conference due to court actions, among other reasons. Credibility of elections in other constituencies is being challenged. Secretary of the Elections Committee in the region, Henry Kwabena Kukufu, says appropriate action is being taken.
We do have what I term issues or conflict management, resolution management strategy. We know how to manage it. We know that issues will arise, but when they come, how do you tackle them and how do you manage them? So in our own wisdom and the wisdom of the National Party, we will come together, form the reconciliatory committee in earnest and bring everybody on board.
After the Regional Delegates Conference on Saturday, the party activated its reconciliation efforts. Leaders are expected to put the party together towards attaining their objective to break the 8. Osei Chairmanship is majority leader in parliament.
I think we can break the 8, but a lot will depend on how hard we commit ourselves to working to salvage that cause. It is not just by lip service. We must hit the grounds, we have our boots on the ground and work very hard.
Meanwhile, in finding a lasting solution to the problem with internal elections, there are calls for expansion of voting rights for all registered party members. Akwesi Osei Ejei is aspiring national chairman of the party.
The delegate system doesn't help. So if everybody is voting, then they are part of the decision making, then it reduces that. Whoever wins, this is something I will push as a chairman, that we should make every card-bearing person vote. That will take away the delegate system, because the delegate system is no good. How many people did they consult before they came here to cast their votes? No.
As internal party mechanisms are being triggered to deal with the divided front, the agenda to break the 8 will largely depend on unity of party members. For JoyNews.
Let's broaden the conversation and speak with Dr. Smart Zappone. He's a political science lecturer and research fellow at the Kumasi Technical University. He put together the research. First, Doc, I'm grateful for your time. Let's look at the sampling and methodology for this research. How did you come by this conclusion?
Great. Good morning to your cherished viewers. I estimated a total of 869 delegates to cast their votes. I excluded the TESCOM group because I wasn't sure of the constituency, their total number. So I put that into brackets and I estimated about 64 for them, but I excluded them because I was not certain. But the number I was certain about as delegates to cast their votes in Ashanti were 869, including the elected and appointed delegates for the various 47 constituencies, as well as Council of Patrons, MPs, and all those other people. And I set out to interview as many elected delegates of the 47 constituencies as possible. I excluded MPs because of their movement. But as for the constituency executives, I knew where to get them in the various constituencies. So I focused much more on them. I got 540 of them to attend to my research, and the responses that I shared with the media is based on responses I gathered from 540 constituency executives in the Ashanti region.
Now, your research indicates that the grip of the NPP in its political stronghold, which is the Ashanti region, is threatened. On what basis does this research draw this conclusion?
Well, so as part of the things I sought out to elicit from them included whether or not they as delegates or as party constituency executives do believe whether or not the party can break the 8, and whether or not they are motivated to breaking the 8, and what could be the reasons thereof. Then, as you reported, 26% of the constituency executives in Ashanti region did not believe that the party can break the 8. They stated some very useful reasons I have put together as 20 points recommendations for the party. Some of them included what you mentioned. The constituency executives appear to be delinked from activities of government in the various constituencies. Example is the 1 million per constituency that were given to various constituencies through their MPs. It appears the transition from Madam Hawa Kumsin to the various authorities did not come with much information to those at the base. So there were instances where constituency executives do not have any information. I appear to even have more information on projects supposed to be in their constituencies under 1 million per constituency than the executives at the base. And they think that those things, the fact that the party at the base is extremely delinked from government is a cause to be worried about. And if that trend continues, they don't believe breaking the 8 would be a reality, to remain a slogan. Yes.
Go ahead, Doc.
Yes. So also they think that the party appears to be empowering individuals other than empowering the party at the base. So they think there are 17 people managing a constituency, and when scholarships come, or perhaps slots, as they call it, to some recruiting agencies come, instead of it coming to the party is set aside, and a single individual somewhere who is a friend to somebody in Accra is more empowered. He comes there as though he cares more for the constituents than even the party executives. And they think if the party would keep relying on individuals other than working with the entire party, the party structure at the base, they would be demotivating them from working towards breaking the 8. I will compile them. In fact, I have compiled them into a 20-point recommendation I'll be sharing with the media in the course of the week, so we can discuss it. It is not intended to cause any discomfort in the system. It is to let them be aware that, yes, breaking the 8 as it is now appears to be their target, but 26% of their own people, delegates and executives at the base, will be for their party, do not believe. And if they take it wisely and work towards it and bring those delegates to the level of believing, then we can at least trust that they work towards something they now believe in.
Doc, let's look at the respondents. You talk about 540 of the constituency executives that you spoke with. Is this a true representation of the membership of the party in that region?
Yes, it is over-representative. Usually, you need about 20% of the delegates to construct your confidence bounds, your confidence intervals. I did 62.4% of the executives at the base. They come across all the 47 constituencies. Only that not all the 17 at the base were participated. Some were not available as was expected. But this 540 respondents cut across all the 47 constituencies in Ashanti, and they are true elected or appointed delegates or executives at the various constituencies. I think if I do 62.4% of the total number of executives, I have gone beyond the laws, or the laws of inertia of live samples, the laws of regularity of live samples, the central limits theorem. There are a lot of laws that goes to establish the concept of representativeness. All these laws have been oversubscribed if I use 62.4% of the targeted population.
Doc, what recommendation did your research profile to get these 26% of the members to come along with the party on the agenda of breaking the age?
The key of the recommendations would be for government to come down to the base and respond to some of their basic. Some of them have very, very simple needs. And some of the problem too has got to do with general issues in town that concerns everybody, especially, for example, the school feeding. Women, all the women organizers who responded to my research were worried that they've been indebted, they've been overburdened with debts for accepting to cook for our own children under the school feeding, and that for quite a long time, their fees or monies are in arrears, and the party has rather impoverished them other than making them work for some income. They feel if they were there on their own, managing their own affairs, it would have been better than for them to have been engaged in school feeding, been made to go for loans, use it to cook, and for quite a long time. They estimate almost 3 times or a year of arrears, and they think some of these things are sources of demotivation to them, even they as party executives. And then the reflection of those things will not be good for them going into 2024. So the government fortunately have some time to respond to these concerns of their own party executives at the base. Hopefully, if they do that, their belief and motivation will be back, and they can work towards breaking the age. So Accra should respond to the base. A lot of them are worried. Some say just 180 Ghana cedi for Zoom Lion workers have been in arrears for quite a long time, and they wonder why such people cannot be paid 180 Ghana cedi a month.
I'm grateful for your time, Dr. Smart Zappone. He is a political science lecturer and research fellow at the Kumasi Technical University. Let's take a break on Joy News Desk. When we return, there's the very latest coming from the world of business.
Hello and welcome. Good morning. Let's do business now with me, Beverly Broom. Access Bank Ghana has developed a loan scheme specifically to support small and medium-scale enterprises. The instant business loan allows businesses to borrow up to 100,000 without collateral. Group head for retail banking, Matilda Asante revealed this at the SME Capacity Building Workshop organized by the bank. Here's more.
Access Bank Ghana held an SME capacity building workshop for entrepreneurs in and around Kaswa in the central region. Group head for retail banking, Matilda Asante emphasized that the workshop is vital to enable businesses access the instant business loan.
We have a very unique product. It's called the instant business loan. I think one of the complaints that most businesses have in Ghana is that when you go to try and borrow money from a bank, they'll say, bring this, bring that, bring that. So we introduced the instant business loan. And what is it? It's a loan product that enables SMEs, whether they're small or big, to borrow up to 100,000 Ghana cedis. And we don't require much, really. It's essentially the stock that you're bringing, and we weigh the stock, we quantify it, and then we're able to give you the loan. But we don't just give loans, because at the end of the day, if you give a customer a loan and you don't provide the non-financial service support for them to manage the business well, to repay you over time, you find that the loans go bad. And so that's why we're doing workshops, clinics, seminars, just to empower them with the tools to effectively manage their businesses.
Some participants shared their experiences at the workshop.
Today we learned about digital tools that would help us keep proper records of some of the transactions in our business. That is taking most of the things we do manual, digital, and also how to be able to market our products on social media. So today's session has actually been very impactful to me personally, because that means I'll be doing away with all the manual records.
It really enlightened me on how to keep data, how to check my stuff, and how to monitor how expense or whatever I do, and at least to keep check on my finances. At first we used to do the normal manual entering data. They get missing, then you go back to square one. But with this, you do at least doing it digital. It helps you monitor, have access to it, do any changes, then at least monitor how you do your spendings. That especially helps you not to overspend, or at least to track your finances.
The workshop was themed Boosting Digital Skills for Emerging Opportunities.
In its quest to ensure students in the engineering and built environment exhibit green building technology using the EDGE application, the International Finance Corporation is organizing the EDGE Net Zero competition for university students and young professionals. According to project lead for Ghana, Kenya, and Nigeria, Dennis Kwanzaa, such initiatives are needed in underdeveloped nations to help train young engineers and architects to adopt technological advancement to execute their project. Here's more.
The Green Design Competition will be the second in the series after the maiden one was held in 2019. The objective of the competition was to allow participants to exhibit the simplicity of building green to impact the environment while improving building comfort and affordability. Project lead Dennis Kwanzaa explained that this will assist in unearthing talent in the engineering and architectural space.
And with time, we realized that students were the main people that also need to understand green building, because in the various universities and tertiary education, we realized that they didn't really have like a structured course on green building. So when the students, architects or student engineers come out of school and come to the markets, they sometimes do not really understand what they have to do. It becomes a new term for them. So we said, okay, let's get to the schools, let's get to the universities, and then start training them from that stage, so that once they come out of school, all they know is doing very efficient designs. So it becomes a part and parcel of them.
Meanwhile, Akosua Sewa Mensa project coordinator said the Zero competition is aimed at reducing global warming as well as ensuring sustainable architecture.
IFC EDGE Green Building Challenge is a design competition organized by the IFC to expose students to green building in general. The maiden edition was in 2019. And it was mainly done with the Central University students. We didn't want to expand it too much because it was the first one. So we wanted to have a group that we could control and not stretch ourselves too much. And this second edition, we've opened it up to more institutions. So all the universities and other schools who are training building professionals are all invited to this second challenge. And we also have included, the maiden competition was purely a student design competition, but this second edition also includes a building awards scheme for professionals.
A member of the jury, Kofi Esel Apia, described the initiative as welcoming to support students to broaden their knowledge in the architectural and engineering field.
Well, this is a very exciting phase of EDGE where it's being spread on a bigger level. Exciting because this time it brings the professionals into the picture as well, and it encourages the young ones about this. We all know what is happening in terms of the high emissions, and the fact of the matter is buildings account for about 40% directly and indirectly of gas emissions. And the whole world has come to realize that we need to do something.
Business now, but we have more business stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Up next is sports.
It's time for sports now. Michael has joined me with the very latest from the world of sports. It's all about the Africa Cup qualifiers.
Yeah.
And who is Ghana playing this evening?
We are playing Madagascar.
Okay. What should we expect?
Okay, so we should expect some changes in our lineup simply because one key figure, Thomas Partey, is not available. Joseph Aidoo got injured in training. And also we have some new faces in strike who definitely Otuado will be relying on to break Ghana's scoring duck. If you've been following the Black Stars very closely, you know that we've had this goal scoring problem for a very long time. So Antoine Semenyo has come in, and it's likely he might get a nod up there to start for the Black Stars because he had been in some good form for Bristol City, playing good football, not just in terms of scoring, but linking up play, creating assists, creating chances, destabilizing opposition defenders and all of that. So, yeah, we can expect some new phases in the lineup tonight.
And the Madagascar team, I mean, tell us about it. How is their performance, I mean, over the period?
All right, if you look back at 2019, you will know that although they might not be a big name in football, they carry some threats. They had a very good run in the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. They beat Nigeria in the quarters or semis. One of them, they beat them 2-0 before they lost the semis to Tunisia by 3-0. And just that should tell you, because at that point in time, many people were expecting, Nigeria, Super Eagles, to just run through and beat Nigeria and just go through and beat Madagascar and just go through the whole thing clearly. But it didn't end up that way with the Madagascans coming out right on top. And you should expect that sort of fight from them this evening. And their coach, Bupui, has said it, Nicolas Bupui has said it emphatically that, yes, Ghana might have beaten Nigeria at home, by away goals to qualify for the World Cup. We respect that, but we are not afraid to play. And we are not going to be afraid to come at you. And that is what's going to happen. They are going to come at us this evening. But I believe with the sort of promise Otuado has shown us in these last 2 games, there's something we can really expect. We can scale through, yeah, definitely.
There's some hope for Ghanaians,
No,
right?
this is not even about hope. When you say hope, it means, maybe there'll be a shaky, but let's say there's good hope. If there's something like that.
The energy is positive, right?
Energy is positive, right.
Okay, so we'll be watching out. The match comes off at what time?
7 p.m. We'll be in Cape Coast. If you can go to Cape Coast in the next 10 hours, that'll be all right.
7 p.m. All the best to Ghana as they meet Madagascar. And don't forget that the Madagascars, they said they are coming at us.
Yeah, that they are coming to play.
So we have to be fully prepared.
But just before we wrap up everything, there's a little bit of question about who is going to be in our midfield this evening, especially with Thomas Partey out and Mubarak Wakaso coming in.
And names are coming up.
So the way I'm seeing things, I just think he might want to go with names he already knows. Obviously, Wakaso he knows earlier, but he might want to stick with those players he did it with versus Nigeria, so definitely you might see Baba Idrisu. And since we are playing Madagascar, he might want more energy and more ingenuity up front. So I'm thinking he might go with Kofi Chire and Mohamed Kudus, who will play on the other side of Idris in midfield. This will give balance in the team and also some sort of energy and creativity going forward. If Antoine Semenyo starts, he might play with Andre Ayew has come back into the team, and that's where headache is going to be because you have your captain coming back. Are you going to bench guys who did it for you in the qualifiers in Nigeria?
That's going to be a tough one
for
him.
Judging in the second leg, I think Ado is a guy who likes making the tough decisions because when we played Nigeria at Abuja, at the start of the second half, he took Jordan Ayew off And that is a really big call to make, taking over one of your key players and bringing in younger guys. So I'm sure he can make big decisions and will do good this evening.
Normally, it's the tough decisions that get us the goals. So yes, it should be tough on this one. Thank you for bringing us updates in sports. That will be 8-4 news desk this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more news there and updates of all the developing stories. See you again at 12.